Good. So for the rest of the day, we're going to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to go through one of my companies so that you can see our process and how we start from square one to projecting that a business will be $1 million business, and literally the process that I use to build my companies, okay? From the day that I conceive of the idea to the day that it becomes a 6-figure or 7-figure business, okay? You think that'll be helpful for you guys to see that whole process? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go through this sheet right here, which is pretty much a synopsis of my empire. Fran Harris Enterprises, as most of you know, is my personal and business development company, which means that we do business consulting and coaching with entrepreneurs and corporations. I have 3 multi-billion-dollar corporations who are my clients right now. I've been working with corporations since I left Procter & Gamble in 1995, and one of the things I learned from being in that corporate structure was how you work with corporations. And so I learned as a sales executive with Procter & Gamble how you work through the layers and getting to speak in corporations, and how you work through the layers and getting to coach, do executive coaching in corporations. So that whole experience was really valuable for me because I can break through a lot faster to get something done, to break through some of the red tape and the bureaucracy to get some things done in corporate America. So we're building an entire company that's based on personal development, which means what I'm doing right now, one-on-one, one-to-many, this kind of thing, and also business development with companies who want to get to the next level. So we focus mostly on business development, marketing, internet marketing. We started to do some internet marketing for smaller companies, and sales and training and inspiration. So it's like 5 or 6 areas that are all really related to my expertise. Because I was with P&G, I know how to train people to sell. I mean, I know how to talk about branding and marketing. So we do that. Because I've been doing a 6-figure business online as an internet marketer for about 7 years. So now we're showing companies and startup people like you guys how do you take that from the beginning and to start to build that, when you don't have a clue, which is why we're doing internet marketing for the clueless. So Fran Harris Enterprises is all about personal and business development. Fran Harris Entertainment, I told you the story yesterday when I worked for ESPN and how when they potentially didn't want me to be on the air anymore, I started my own production company. And that year started writing screenplays. My first screenplay was called Loose Balls. It was about a man who couldn't make it in the NBA, so he dressed up as a woman to make it in the WNBA. Juwanna Mann is not my movie. That was terrible. Not my movie. Some of y'all feel like, yeah, she did Juwanna Mann. I did not do Juwanna Mann, but here's the thing, that movie got made. You know, the whole thing is that movie got made, but I wrote my first script in 1999 and sold my first script to Fox about 3 years ago, which is the same script that I'm producing this summer as a stage play. It's called Rapper's Delight, and it's about a gangster rapper who can't curse because his 9-year-old daughter prayed and asked God to remove those words from his arsenal. So it's like Liar Liar in the world of rap. So Fox bought that about 3 years ago, and then they proceeded to hang it on their shelf and just hold it, and we're going to make it. And so when the option ran out, which those of you who are not in the business, people have an option, just like a house. They hold it. Yeah, they just hold it, and then they can decide whether they want to make something out of it or not. When the option ran out, I said, I'm going to do my own movie. So I'm producing and directing my first play this summer. I've actually written plays. I've been produced like 10 or 12 of them that I've been produced, but this is the first one I'm actually producing and directing this summer. And then we're going to shoot the feature next summer. So Fran Harris Entertainment focuses on non-fiction, inspirational television and film projects, because I've been doing that since 2001. And we've done about 500 hours of television programming so far. So we've been pretty busy there. That's the entertainment company. Fran Harris Basketball, which is the actual thing that I'm going to take you through today because it's relatively new. The relaunch is relatively new, which is literally just an entire company that focuses on my basketball fame, celebrity. So there are a lot of, and I'll take you through this in a second, there were 50 million kids participating in youth sports. And about 10 million of those are basketball players, or youth basketball players. And yet, as I'll show you in a second, they're not being served, and certainly not girls, they're not being served, so we have a huge opportunity in that area. Fran Harris Foundation is my nonprofit organization, and we focus on disenfranchised communities to teach them entrepreneurship. So we're actually developing a partnership with DISD right now to get entrepreneurship into schools, because as you all know, nobody teaches us financial literacy, nobody teaches us to start our own businesses. So Fran Harris Fran Harris Foundation is about that. And then Harris Real Estate Partners is our real estate development company, and we just did a development with T.D. Jakes. All of you know who T.D. Jakes is. We just did development with them called Capella Park. And then when the real estate thing hit, when we had like 26 townhomes, what we call live work units, people were getting ready to buy, and then people were not getting ready to buy. So it was really, that's the deal I was telling you about yesterday. So my role was to, while we're waiting, is to provide cash for our development and that kind of stuff. But it was very hard because we had all those we were like sold out, and then people just started pulling out of their townhomes. They just started saying, well, we're not gonna do it. So we're rebuilding that and repositioning all of that. And TD Jakes just bought another one, so that's good. He's got the money to buy a couple of them. So we got him to buy another one. Yeah. We just sold it. We just did an add-on. You can do it existing. You can buy something else, and that's what Harris Real Estate Partners is about. My offline income, real estate investing and developing. I own several homes. In fact, I just moved back from LA about a year ago. I lived in LA 5 years. But when I moved to LA, this is what you guys focus on. When I moved to LA, the market here was really, really good, which was like 2003, 2000, whatever. So I bought a house, a real estate property here in Dallas when I moved to LA because I was not going to buy a house in LA. That was like the size of this stage. It was going to cost me $1 million. It was ridiculous. So I bought real estate in Dallas, and when I decided to move back to Dallas about a year ago, I moved into one of my real estate properties. And it's great because the market, there are like 5 houses on my street that are available. And I want to buy one of the houses across the street from me. It's an old neighborhood. My house was born in 1938. So it's a really old house. It's a great neighborhood. There's $1 million house across the street from me. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Campese's pizza place. They live across the street from me, but it's a mixture of like $3, $5 million houses and then $500,000 houses. But I got in that neighborhood right at the right time, right? And now there are like 4 houses so we're going to try to buy some of those. So we do those kinds of things. We look for opportunities, just like we do in what I'm going to talk about with Fran Harris basketball. We look for opportunities to get in at the right time, where we don't have to use a whole lot of our money. But that part of my business it's been really fascinating for me because I wanted to get into real estate about 10 years ago and didn't get into it the way I wanted to. All right, seminars, camps, live events, which we do. You guys are attending one of those. You know that we did the Black Millionaire Summit, which my company produced completely. How many of you were at the Black Millionaire Summit? Was it a good event? Yeah. Great event. Now here's the thing about the Black Millionaire Summit. We didn't start marketing that until, it was in November, I think in August, something like that, and we had over 250 people there. We did radio. Russell Simmons came in to speak. I mean, it was like standing room only. It was a great event. Did you guys think it was a great event? Oh, yeah. It was really great. It was a great event. So that kind of got me to thinking about doing larger events, more Tony Robbins, what's his name? Tony Robbins size, not style. Tony Robbins, what's his name? I mean, Tony Romo. Who brought up Tony Romo to me sometimes? This one, okay. Tony Robbins, okay. Tony Robbins size event that we're going to do. Because what we learned that people are willing to invest in themselves. They really are, no matter what's happening in the economy. And I know for me, I haven't stopped investing in myself just because there's a alleged recession out there. But this is the time. If you think about my story that I told you about my real estate when I bought one of my houses here, the time was right to do that, right? The time was right to buy real estate in Texas. And so for all of you now, rather than pulling back and thinking that you should not be moving forward with your business, this is actually the time you should be moving forward, right? Because if most of the people out there are afraid, that means there's a huge opportunity out there for whatever you do. And that's not rhetoric, that's just real. And when I show you what's happening with Fran Harris basketball, you're going to be like, it's amazing that nobody's ever really tapped into this market, okay? I've written before 3 weeks ago, I'd written 20 books. And 3 weeks ago, basically we got ready to do an event for Fran Harris basketball. And I wanted to have some books for coaches, parents, officials. So I started doing what's called, what I call these little books. You guys have seen these, right? And you guys I probably gave you a template if you're one of my other programs to do this. This book costs about $3 to produce, and we sell it for like $12 or $15. How many of you know that's a good markup on a product, okay? And the thing about it is, I didn't do a book that kids are not going to read. If you look inside, right, just a couple of words on each page. right? So kids will love these books. The parents got them, but the main thing for me is like, was it going to be profitable? Was I going to be able to produce something that I could produce really cheaply, get to market quickly, and then make a lot of money on it? And so I'll tell you a little bit about what we did with Fran Harris Basketball in a second. All right? So books are part of my offline income, speaking, coaching, consulting, other products. I have over 200 products that I've personally created, and I didn't bring everything, but you guys have my catalog, so you've seen at least 20 of those in my catalog. Magazine publishing, we published the world's first entrepreneurship magazine for college students called Collegepreneur, and we just celebrated a year with the magazine thing. Now, when I started Collegepreneur, people were saying, it's such a tough business. Really? Do you really want to go into magazine publishing? It really doesn't last. This is what everybody's telling me. Now, come on. A magazine doesn't exist for college entrepreneurs. I don't care if we got a bulletin saying the world was going to end the next day. I was going to start this business because A, it is the first to market, right? It's in an area that's not going. We're always going to have college institutions, are we not?
Right.
We're always going to have students going to work for other people and starting businesses. So I really started that. I've never told you about it. I really started that business to sell that business. I started that business with the end result being, in 3 years, I'm going to sell that business for multi-million dollars. And I've already gotten calls from people about it. Because, I mean, when you have an opportunity to be first to market with something that's different, that's needed, do it. Do it. Even if you don't have a desire to work in that business, just do it. Okay? So we're celebrating our year. We just did four issues of Collegepreneur, and it's going really well. I use Collegepreneur as a vehicle for other things. I don't use Collegepreneur to be, the Inc. magazine of. I'm not looking to sell millions of magazines. I'm literally, honestly using it as a platform for other things. All right? So there are lots of different reasons you can start a business. Some people just want to be in the magazine publishing business. That's not necessarily me. I started to sell it. Okay? Now, one of the things that I mentioned earlier is that my goal whenever I start a business is to remove myself as quickly as possible from that business. So I build it, and then I say, how can I get out of this? Because I don't want to spend all my time physically, tangibly being involved in the business because I have too many other ideas that I want to go pursue. So we've started to do certifications. You guys know that I have a program called Speak and Make Millions. How many people have been to that? Right? You guys have been to that, Speak and Make Millions? So now we're doing certifications for people to teach what I teach. Okay? That way I don't have to be in 50 states to teach Speak and Make Millions or the Millionaire Business School or the Intentional Millionaire Institute. Right? You train people to do what you do, and then you can be everywhere you need to be. So everybody in here who has expertise, your praise dance, you need to immediately be thinking today, who can I train to do what I do so that I can proliferate what I do without being there? Okay? The problem with most entrepreneurs is that they get so married and tied to their business and they don't know how to let go and they don't know all that stuff, and then you limit yourself from an income standpoint. If you got to do everything, you're not making nearly as much money as you can make. All right, so we're doing certifications, we're licensing some of my things. Just like, you think about it, KFC, Burger King, McDonald's, these are franchises. A variation of franchising is what's called licensing. Okay, not so much paperwork, not so much all these other legal issues, but very effective. Very effective for you to take whatever concept you have and then license it. Okay, online income. I've been writing ebooks since 1997, doing webinars now, teleseminars, courses, affiliate marketing. I get paid to write articles. I create audio and video products. I even mention my membership communities where people pay. Who's a member of Millionaire Business School? Who's asking me that? You are a free member? Mm-hmm. Okay. So in Millionaire Business School, you basically have access to my audios, my videos, my articles, or whatever. All of you could have a membership site based on your expertise, right? Based on your expertise, people pay you money every single month to have access to your expertise. Anybody interested? It's like passive residual income every month, okay? Now, the joint ventures that I'm currently involved in, and some of you are going to get involved with this. How many of you think you could sell to your database, new or existing, you could sell an interview with me and Oprah Winfrey? Do you think the people in your database would be interested in listening to me interview Oprah Winfrey or Donald Trump? Or, okay? So last year I told you Russell came to speak at my event. Russell Simmons came to speak at my event. And so through the course of the last, 6 or 7 months, we've been talking to them about doing what's called the Celebrity Interview Series. But specifically for entrepreneurs, we only want the absolute top entrepreneurs in the world. And so we just got the agreement back from them last week. So now we're going to be selling. Every month you're going to get on the phone, just like you do with me with my teleseminars, and listen to me and or Stephen Peters interview some big celebrity, Oprah, Martha, Donald Trump. Now, and we're going to pay our marketing partners to promote that. Now, how many of you know that you can you can promote an interview with Oprah Winfrey? Right? Okay. Or Donald Trump, or whoever we get. And our list is very exclusive. We gave them like 50, we said we want these 50 people. And I mean, these are Jerry John, these are really just amazing people. And amazingly, they all want to do it. So we're going to give you the opportunity to make money. We're doing all the work, we're doing all the heavy lifting, and all you have to do is promote it and say, hey, do you want to listen to Oprah or Beyonce or whomever, okay? And that all happened because we just thought of a great idea, and let's just see what people say, right? A lot of people let the fact that they don't know people or they think people are unreachable or untouchable stop them from doing things that they can really bring to fruition. But we had this great idea 7 months ago, and now we have a deal. So you guys, you stand to make a lot of money. I can't tell you how much money Russell Simmons is going to make, and he's got a rough, pretty small percentage. So you guys, we're actually giving our marketing partners between 40 and 50% of every interview. So literally, if we sell it for $97, you'll get 45, whatever the half of that is, 48.50 or whatever it is. Okay? Now, how many of you? I've just given you an income stream. Do you realize that? I just gave you an income stream. Okay. Now the rubber meets the road. When you get this announcement from me, you got to do something. You got to take action. You got to sign up for my affiliate program so you can sell this stuff. It's easy. How many of you were an affiliate for the Black Millionaire Summit? Did you sell? Did you refer anybody to it? Did you get a check or anything? Anybody? You guys did. Portia, what'd you do?
I was like,
okay. And you just told them about it, and you just got, what, a couple $100 or something like that? All right? Was it easy money?
Easy, really.
All right? It was really easy. So think of how easy it's going to be to sell the people I just mentioned. All right? I'm just telling you that, and, we're taking applications for affiliates and that kind of stuff, but when you get the thing from me, it's real. Sign up. This is going to be the easiest money you've ever made. All right? So that's one of my joint ventures. I just started a company with a guy that I met in a networking event. I got invited to be in a networking group, and if you're not in a networking group where people are really doing stuff, you need to start one. Because I got invited to be in this networking group. Our meeting a few months ago, Tony, what's his name? Robbins. Not Romo, Robbins. What's his name? He was the speaker. Paul Abdul was the speaker. Just amazing people. Amazing. I spoke. It's just, amazing people. I'm not throwing myself out there. I spoke. Yeah, so I was one of the speakers. But what happens in that room is that you get to meet people like we're doing right now. You get to touch and meet people who really do things. So I started a company with a guy, and BB Media is $1 billion baby because we're doing a television show, and Pat and John were actually on our show. We're doing a show that's for experts. We do nothing but interview experts in their fields, and they pay to be on our show. Right? How many of you have seen Good Morning Texas? Those people pay to be on there. Do you guys know that? Okay. They pay to be on there.
That's what I thought.
Right. No. They pay to be on there. So we're doing a similar show. And but I met that guy in a room just like we are now. There are like 40 of us in the room, and we're networking, and so we're starting a company together. We're also starting YSTV, which is essentially youth sports TV, youth sports television. So essentially ESPN for youth sports. That's like $1 billion business. All right? And then one guy that I met in my networking group as well, he produced the movie Pretty Woman. You guys heard of Pretty Woman? Mm-hmm. His name is Gary Goldstein. Gary and I are now business partners. So we're doing a membership website together for people who want to break into the business. People who want to be actors, right? So we're starting a membership site called HollywoodConfidential.biz. And then the sports wrap was a business that my cousin came up with because he's a chef. And when we were in Frisco a few weeks ago at a basketball tournament, basketball, we noticed that all they had to eat was junk. Pizza, burgers, I like all that stuff, but think about your kid is eating that in between games and having to go out and play. So my cousin was a chef said, let's do a healthy wrap. And I said, let's call it the sports wrap. And so we're doing these healthy wraps for that are going to be in different places, but it doesn't exist. So then when I went to speak in Cincinnati 2 weeks ago, I met a guy who used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals, because the limo that picked me up was his sister. So then he texted me and was like, I want your sports wrap in my 20,000-foot facility. So now just this idea is actually a business, because we already have, so we did all the financials and all that. But all of that happened because I didn't try to do things by myself. Everything that I've talked about is because I'm really committed to collaboration. And I used to. I'm being honest. 15 years ago, if I came up with a great idea, I would just go do it. And I would do it, and it would be just me. And how many of you know that that's a really hard way to? It's very hard to do that. And then people say, well, it's hard to find good help. And I said, no. If you say that, then it is hard to find good people to work with. So I didn't put that out there. I started saying I need certain kinds of partners, and those partners started to come to me. So all of these joint ventures I have are because I'm saying I'm open, I'm willing to work with people. It's a lot faster for me to build $1 million company with someone than it is for me to do it by myself. And so that's the thing that I want to really impress upon you. So you have people in this room who are your accelerators, is what I call them, the people who can really accelerate what you do. As I listen to you do your presentations, I was thinking in my head all the people you should be working with in this room, could be working with in this room. But the reality is that most of you will leave this room and never make a connection with the people in this room. And that's unfortunate, because I bring you together for that purpose. I really do. I bring you together so that you can leverage each other and accelerate each other's businesses. So you've listened to me and you've listened to each other, but you've got to literally look into the faces of the people that you're meeting and understand what they do and understand how you can leverage that to really build your business a lot faster. Because it is about acceleration. Okay? So any questions about any of that? We're going to talk about Frank Harris basketball and our process over the last month for building this business. Any questions about any of that? Okay. So Frank Harris basketball is what we call the premier training, skills instruction, and product development for youth basketball players between the ages of 7 and 18 living in the United States. That's pretty much our general primary market. When I told my brother, my little brother is my director of operations, and so he literally runs the company. But when we started Frank Harris basketball, the first question that we asked is, who's serving this market? But you heard me ask that earlier today. Who's currently serving the youth basketball market between the ages of 7 and 18? Okay, who's currently serving that market? And so we did some research online, and we figured out that there's something called Better Basketball. There's a matter. Every city, every state, every professional basketball organization has people who are doing this. But who's really serving? How are they serving? How are these people being served? And what we came up with was, okay, these people are being served with camps. They are being served with one-on-one instruction. And that's pretty much it. There's only really one to three companies who are providing products for this market. So there's a huge DVD, audio CD, book. There's a huge, gap between the stuff that they're getting with instruction and camps and literal products that you and I like to consume as well. Then I said, how much are they paying? How much are people currently paying for DVDs? How much you guys think people are paying for DVDs? $15.99, $19.99, $29.99. Okay. All right. Then the next question I asked was, what's missing? What's missing? What am I not seeing? What are the people who are currently serving these athletes not seeing? What is missing? Okay? And then what we did was we put together a 30-day, 90-day, 120-day, and we just mapped out the entire year. Now, so we launched Frank Harris basketball 3 weeks ago in Frisco. It was the Easter weekend in Frisco at an AAU tournament that had 75 teams there. And so I spent $7,000 on books, on DVDs, on slicks, promotional stuff, everything you need to do, all your collateral stuff that you need to put into place to launch a business, right? Did all this stuff. There were going to be 75 teams there. We set up like 3 tables, and we sold, y'all ready? Total sales at the end of the weekend, what do you think it was? $250? Thank you, that's very generous. $20. Really? $20. 20. How much? $20. $20. 210. Exactly. Thank you. Bringing that to life. $20. T-shirts, baller bands. I mean, just all kinds of stuff, right? So our goal, we always have branding goals, and we always have revenue goals, because I only have revenue days and non-revenue days. So we wanted to get the brand out there. We wanted to create awareness around the brand, but we wanted to make some money, right? So at the end of the day, Saturday night, my brother, who's director of basketball, he's a young guy. In fact, that's my brother. That's my little brother. At the end of the night, he came over because I know he was feeling kind of discouraged, and he didn't know how I was feeling because I was all upbeat. He couldn't tell what I was feeling. He didn't know, because I was already thinking, okay, here's some things that we can do, here's some things, blah, blah, blah. And so he says, well, I know we could be really discouraged by this, but, people come into the gym and they go to watch people play, and they're really not interested in buying things. So we learned a lot. We learned a whole lot about our market. And more importantly, we learned what was currently being sold to people and what people were used to doing when they came to an AAU tournament. They're used to walking through the gym to their kids' court, sitting down and walking out. Right? So we're thinking there's going to be this browsing little thing like we do when we go to a business conference, and that's not what they do. They go straight to court 5, they watch their kid play, they walk right out, they go get food, they go get pizza. So the sports wrap is working really well. They go get their pizza, they go back to it, and they leave. Okay? So we had to learn a lot. We're going to be in that environment. We had to learn a lot about what we needed to do to move our product. So the next week, my brother came back from town. He doesn't live here yet. And we got positioned better on the court, in the foyer and that kind of thing, and we did like $110. I said, well, what was different, right? This time they walked around and talked to people, and hey, we got this over here, we got this, okay? Yesterday they did another tournament, and we did $250. So you see, same situation, learning a little bit more about what the landscape is and that kind of thing, and it would have been easy for us to say, well, this is just not working for us. This is just not going to work. Which is what a lot of people do. They say, well, we didn't hit the home run, we didn't do the slam dunk the first time out. And so we're just going to give up on this. Now, had we not done all of this, we may have been inclined to say the same thing. But because we knew, A, that there's a market for DVDs, we know that there's a market for creative T-shirt ideas, we know that there's a market for all the stuff that we found when we did our research, we knew it was just a matter of time before people start knowing who Fran Harris basketball is, or they start looking for our tables. Now what's happening now is that people are seeing us at these events, and they're coming over to us. They went over to Chris yesterday and said, we've got 7 tournaments over the next 3 months. You guys should come and be a part of that. Right? So now our marketing is accelerated because we're there. And we're the only people who are there, which speaks to what's missing, what the opportunity is. And not only are we selling products and stuff, but we're also selling camps. And we're also selling clinics, and we're also selling seminars for parents, and parents, officials, coaches, and the players. Which goes to what I was saying to you guys, and what I said to all of you, is like, when you have a big database of people, the first question you should be asking is, how can you sell them something else? Right? What else can you sell them? Which is why I wrote, that weekend I wrote 3 books. I wrote one for parents, I wrote one for players, and I wrote one for officials. Okay? Because I knew in that building there were going to be 3 different kinds of people there. So I wasn't going to miss out on the opportunity to actually close a deal and make some money with them. So I want everybody to take out a sheet of paper real quick, and I want you to write down these things. I want you to write down, these are the same things we are currently going through that we had to ask ourselves as we kind of launched Fran Harris Basketball. What are your specific business? What are your profit centers? All right, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Your profit centers. What would you think would be profit centers for Fran Harris Basketball? Knowing the product line that I kind of shared with you. What would be profit centers?
Books.
Books. Cost me $3 to print the book. We sell it for $12 to $15. Is that a profit center?
Yes.
Okay. What else?
DVDs.
DVDs. Costs me $3 to create a DVD. I sell it for $19.99 to $29.99. Is that a profit center?
Yes.
Okay? T-shirts. Cost me $5 for a t-shirt. We sell them for $20. Is that a profit center? Okay? What else?
Sports wrap? Sports wrap?
Sports wrap?
Sports drinks.
Okay? All right, here's the other thing we did. We did game DVDs. So I hired, that weekend, I hired a videographer to come in and shoot a game. Because what do parents want after their kids play? They want the DVD. And if you walk off the court and we say you can get your own DVD of your kids just playing here, you think parents will buy that? Okay? So, cost me probably $6 to do that, and we sell that for $30. So this is a very profitable business from the start. Okay? Now, so I want you to think about your profit centers in your business. What are the potential, if you're not currently in business or you're not currently having your own products and services, what are the potential profit centers in your business? And keep in mind, you may mirror mine. I mean, if you should be doing books, and you should be doing CDs and DVDs, and you should be doing some kind of merchandise. So what are the profit centers in your business? What are the potential profit centers or the profit centers in your business? Sherry, what are some of the profit centers in your business?
Well, my training.
Okay, talk
Yeah,
about
that's a little hard to say about the cost. If it's local, the cost would be obviously my time and maybe my transportation expense to go in my car. If I am doing training out of state, then it would obviously be the cost of the travel. However, I do have some clients where they pay for my travel and they pay for hotel, food, and all of that good stuff.
Okay, quick question for you. Are you calculating your prep time? When you bill clients, are you calculating your prep time?
Yes.
Keeping it in there.
Yes, because if it's a curriculum I've already got, then all I just need to do is show up. If I have to build it specifically for their business, then yes, I do calculate prep time.
And you charge the client for that?
It is factored in the pricing.
Okay, you
I
don't
charge
tell
prep
them.
time and then that, but it's factored into
Okay.
what I.
Well, how are the speakers in here? Speakers, coaches, consultants. You should all be calculating, factoring in
Prep time.
your prep time.
Research.
From the time you say, yes, I'm going to do this engagement, to the time you do this engagement, any time that you spend getting ready for that engagement, you should be billing the client. All right? Profit centers. Everybody got their potential profit centers down. Okay. The next thing we do is we talk about potential barriers to success. Everybody write that down. Potential barriers to success. What can get in your way? What can possibly get in your way? Yes?
I suffer from analysis paralysis.
So you are your potential barrier to success.
Yes, I am my worst enemy a lot of times. I will be honest. Yeah.
So potential barrier to success is your
Procrastination.
willingness, your desire to analyze things to death.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So did you write that down?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I know that.
What are some other potential barriers to success?
Trying to do too many things and not developing a niche.
Yep.
See that part of my you see it? It's collapsed. I don't see it.
Trying to do too many things and not necessarily doing anything. Is that it?
The word everyone.
The word everyone? What do you mean?
Everyone is your customer.
Oh, everyone needs your product, right? All right.
Could money be one of them? Since not everybody can lost $7,000 and then move on.
I didn't lose $7,000. I said I spent $7,000.
Not everybody can spend $7,000 and just move on. Like next,
Yeah. You know, and honestly, I was like, and when I sent to Chris, I sent him everybody should do this. I sent him a best case scenario, a medium case scenario for our sales, and like an absolute worst. And my absolute worst wasn't $20. You know, my absolute worst was like a couple grand. It wasn't $20. So, but laying that out really helped me to see the potential income for this, you know, when things really get up and running, how we can do it. But I never would have counted on just doing $20 from a $7,000 plus, you know, investment. But think about what I spent that money on. And I want to, and Noelle, when you think about the money that you're investing in your business, we spent that on stuff that we needed anyway. We needed collateral. We needed DVD cases there. We needed T-shirts so our, you know, our models, our spokesmodels could walk around. It was all the stuff we needed. I anticipated just getting that money back faster than we were getting it back. But the great thing that I have in my pocket, and we'll talk about this in a minute, is I have a great leader. My brother loves youth basketball. He has an 8-year-old son. He is personable. He's charismatic. He's cute. I mean, he's got all the stuff. So, you know, he's really out there just hustling. Because this company is, you know, it's going to live and die on his effort and his leadership. And so, fortunately, I have somebody in that position who really, really is invested in the success of this company. So we talk constantly, and we talk about what happened yesterday. He said, I think if you make an appearance and you sign the basketball. So he's thinking, you know, he's really thinking about how we can maximize ourselves. This is the thing that most entrepreneurs don't spend any time on. So money is definitely a potential barrier to success. Potential, not necessarily. What else? What are some other potential barriers to success?
Time.
Time, okay. Lack of confidence. What else?
Lack of knowledge.
Knowledge. What else?
Also, not having a plan or goals.
No goals. All right. What about
Giving up too fast.
giving up too fast?
Yeah, lack of
Really, everybody, you need to be thinking about your business right now. You know, it could be other people in the marketplace, other people sharing your space, other people who are doing the same business that you do, the fact that you're new to the industry, the fact that there are a million network marketing companies and somebody's always talking to somebody about something. Those are all potential barriers to your success. And you need to think about this. You need to think about this in a really big way. And I'm walking through one of the things we did with my DVDs. So we were doing a boys AAU tournament 3 weekends ago. So instead of putting my picture on the front of the DVD for that event, I put my brother's picture on the front. Right? Boys buy my stuff all the time, but I want to eliminate any potential barriers for people picking it up and giving me $30. So I put his picture on the front of a boys tournament. My picture's on the back of every single DVD that we have. But like when we do girls tournament, my picture will be on the front. You see what I mean? Because we went through this exercise. We said, okay, what are the potential barriers for not doing business that weekend? And I said immediately, I said, it's a boys tournament. You know, I know how men can be sometimes. I'm just going to be real. I know how men can be sometimes. Let's put your picture on. Great. What were you going to say, Mary?
Who do you get to do your DVDs?
I emailed you guys. His name is Lee Sant. The guy I emailed to you, the designer guy. His name is Leesaenz. But if you'll email me, coach@brianharris.com, I'll have June send you that information again. But anyway, and then I have a guy who does my cartoons for me. He did a fantastic cartoon for me that's really hot. And he did these, but my book covers Lee did. Very, very inexpensive. John, what were you going to say?
When you're marketing to your women's tournaments, are you using a business style picture, or are you going back and picking up your uniform picture?
Yeah, on the front, you know, the DVDs or any of that, it's a basketball picture. Yeah, it's a basketball picture, and then, in fact, on the back you can see it has a picture of me speaking, and then it has a picture of me playing basketball. So I use both of them. All right, because here's what I know, and think about this. Here's what I know. You have your primary market, and then you have your secondary market. The person who's going to buy this is who? The parent, right? The parent's going to pick this up, and the parent sees me with the microphone and a bio that says I speak to blah blah blah. Then the parent owns the company, right? So I'm marketing to my primary market and my secondary market in one fell swoop. Y'all see what I mean? So you always think about your primary market, but you think about the person who's making this purchase. And the person who's making this purchase is the kid's parent. Okay? All right, so any other potential barriers to success? you need to be thinking of for your mark. A bad business name, I mean, those things can really hinder your ability to get the job done and to make money. A bad business name, terrible marketing, a crowded marketplace, bad economy, perception of a bad economy. What are your potential barriers to success? Now, what do you think my potential barriers to success might be with Fran Harris basketball?
New to the industry?
Yeah. New to the marketplace, right? Who are you? We don't know who you are. When we read it, we go, whoa, but we don't know that before we read that, right? So new to the industry, what else? Gender? Ethnicity? Potential? All these are potential. Doesn't mean that they're going to get the way, but they are potential. And if you ignore them or are afraid to say them, then you don't address them. So the fact of the matter is, when I was working with ESPN, a potential barrier to success was that I was a woman. 90% of the guys who work for ESPN, the people who work for it, are guys. So I was on shows, and we call game shows. I was on shows with all men. All men.
That don't make your star shine.
Yeah, sometimes it did. Sometimes it's just really uncomfortable because you know how guys can be when y'all get together. Jeremy.